Good evening and thank you. Stuart Greer in Nairobi tonight. Thanks very much.
A heavily bandaged hand is lingering evidence of Damon Abdi's near-death experience.
I had a grenade on my hand. My fingers, one is broken, the other is just a lot of meat came off and a bullet went through my thigh.
Damon, 16, and her 17-year-old sister Fardosa were shopping at the Westgate Mall when al-Shabaab militants launched the assault. The grenade that wounded Damon exploded right next to Fardosa's leg, shattering it. Her injury so grievous that security forces thought she was dead.
They weren't taking the dead bodies out at first, so they left her there for about 2 hours.
Al-Shabaab has claimed that it tried to avoid harming Muslims, but the Abdi sisters were both wearing headscarves, marking them as observant. Damon says the attackers showed no mercy to anyone.
I think they're inhumane. I don't think they're normal.
Fardosa remains in critical condition with gruesome injuries to her leg. Her family says she needs more advanced medical care than is available in Kenya and is struggling to get her back to Canada.
And we have been working with the Canadian Embassy, and the biggest concern right now to them was it's very expensive to airlift her and she cannot go on a commercial flight. So we're stuck.
A spokesman for Foreign Affairs tells Global News that the government is working on options, including something called the Distressed Canadian Fund, which could pay for an air ambulance home.
We were dealing with a Canadian girl under the circumstances of major attack. You would also think that the Kenyan government would be sympathetic to helping out too.
Back at the mall, smoke was still rising, even as teams of international experts, including Canadians, were searching for evidence inside. For a teenager from Toronto, the painful memories of being caught up in this battle will not fade soon.
I try not to think about it a lot. I don't like thinking about it, but there's a lot of reminders everywhere.
She says what she really needs now are prayers for her sister. Sean Mallon, Global News.
Just tell me a little bit more about Fardosa's condition.
Fardosa's condition is critical but stable. The doctors here have told us that there's nothing that they can do. So far, all they have done is clean the area, take bone fragments out, and they tried to repair the TPL bone, the leg bone down here that's completely shattered. But they haven't done any skin grafting or anything like that. And she has multiple areas that the flesh is actually missing, and you can see the bone.
And what you're going to be meaning a doctor. You're trying to get care back in Canada. Tell us a little bit about this.
We are really hoping and praying we can get her back home so that she can get the medical care that she needs. She needs advanced medical care that we cannot get here. And we have been working with the Canadian Embassy, and the biggest concern right now to them was it's very expensive to airlift her and she cannot go on a commercial flight. So we're stuck. The doctors here are not doing anything, and we can't get her out of the country, so we're stuck.
Are you asking for donations or any sort of help, perhaps from the public? I mean, the girls obviously have a lot of ties in Toronto, and there's a community I imagine that you're close to there, and Minnesota as well.
Well, the embassy, one of the things they said is that if the government issues an okay for the embassy to airlift Fardosa, they'll be able to. So we're really hoping the Canadian government steps in.
The federal government?
The federal government.
Is there anybody perhaps in Ottawa, if we can help, maybe making a few calls, let us know.
The ministry is what they said. They didn't give us a specific one.
Okay, all right.
But, yeah.
I know it's difficult for Damon to talk about what happened that day, but can you tell me what perhaps Fardosa and what she has sort of told you about the events?
Well, the girls told us that they were grocery shopping. Their mom sent them off in Nakumatt. They were done. They went upstairs to grab a bite to eat, and then that's when everything started. And they tried to get out. They went to the rooftop. That's when Fardosa was hit and Damon was hit. Fardosa was a grenade that exploded right next to her. That's why she has all this multiple wounds. They thought Fardosa died. They weren't taking the dead bodies out at first, so they left her there for about 2 hours. That's why she bled out, and she has been getting blood transfusions ever since. They finally stabilized her, but they still cannot do anything about the wounds.